Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with the SCS mod. So, let us continue with our quest to explore the coast. I also looked up this boomerang dagger very quickly, and I don't think it's implemented properly. Even when you have its ranged mode activated, I don't think it grants the Thaco bonus it's supposed to grant. It only grants the damage. But still, it's a dagger that has a +2 enchantment, which matters when it comes to hitting some monsters, and it also means that we're not going to run out of daggers. We don't have to worry about replenishing them. And I don't know, maybe I'll fix it in near infinity and like look it up closer at some point. But anyway, let's now travel to this lighthouse area.
It is done.
And here we have a lot to do. Alright, some hobgoblins are likely to spawn. I could use my last charge of the sleep wand, and I think I'm going to do it because there's a lot of them, and especially the archers can be quite deadly. And that spent the item, so it disappeared. And you know, I won't be able to recharge it in that way, in this case, I guess. Because these charge items, when you spend their last charge, they just disappear. So if you want to recharge them, you have to, you know, the optimal way of doing it is to, of course, recharging them when they have one charge left, or like very low amount of charges. Alright, so that was quite a group of hobgoblins, and I'm not going to, I think, loot all of them. I'm just going to loot maybe a few here and some arrows. Potion of insight, huh? Oh yeah, you can have the arrows given.
Yes?
Oh, and we have some guys here still left.
I am here, certainly. Your concern?
Alright, anyway. Let us proceed.
Can I assist you?
Yes, indeed.
This is a triggered person. I know why you're here. It's the same reason everyone else comes to see me, and you shall get the same answer. I do not know when the iron shortage will let up. I have no clue as to who controls the bandits in the area, and I have no interest in accompanying you to the gambling tables in Baldur's Gate. So of course you can kind of question her stargazing abilities, I guess. What practical use do they have? But if you're nice to her, she's actually going to, you know, calm down a little bit. I'm sorry for my rudeness. It would seem that I was quite disturbed even before you came anywhere near me. I simply get tired of the asking, especially when people find the answers too vague. The stars are not a reference book with everything laid out plain. Yeah, she has a good point here, Imoen, about like horoscopes and stuff like that.
I am here.
Or, you know, telling you your future. You know, that stuff. Anyway. Here is Safana. She's another thief. There's a lot of thieves that you can recruit in Baldur's Gate 1. She's a thief. Pretty good one. She has a very unique personality, I guess. When it comes to... Oh, she is pretty unique. She's a big, like, man seducer. And if you don't have a male companion in your party, you won't be able to recruit her, because that's her whole thing. She wants to... she has this, like, quest here, I guess, to rob or to check out the bounty of the pirate Black Alaric, and his treasure cave is in this area. So that's kind of her quest, to go and loot it.
I've been looking for strong men like yourselves.
Strong man, huh? Yeah, so she explains about that pirate treasure trove. We're always interested in hearing about money. Anyway, so we can agree and immediately remove her, so that she probably goes to the friendly Armin.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Oh no, again, belching dragon.
Your concern?
Alright, so that's her. Now I think I'm going to get rid of all of those sirines at this, on the coast.
Yes, it is done.
And I am going to buff up Sinashira with shield already, because I'm going to need it anyway. Oh, here are the sirines. Alright. That was a bad thing to approach there. Because one thing to say about the sirines, they are pretty dangerous opponents, and they basically have two main weapons when it comes to how they deal with you. First off, they can cast Dire Charm, so pretty hard to save against Charm. So you have to be protected against that, and the other thing is that they fire poison arrows, or arrows of biting. And basically the way to do it, to deal with them, that I like to do, is first get this. This Potion of Clarity is pretty cool to use here, the one that we got in Candlekeep. We could use the Greenstone Amulet, but this only lasts for one turn, so I would have to use at like 2 charges most likely. It's pretty much impossible in my condition here to clear them out in just 10 rounds while being kind of soloing them. I want to kind of solo them with Senashira with maybe a little help from our ranged damage dealers. So I am going to drink this Potion of Clarity to get protected for 1 hour, which is 5 minutes of real life time. So I am going to drink that. Alright, and now we're just going to assist Senashira from range. Now, of course, with her equipment and the shield spell from the shield amulet, which of course gives us a nice, even bigger bonus versus missiles, she is, and of course we have this Cloak of Displacement, the Boots of Avoidance, and this Elf's Bane belt. So she's very well protected against their arrows, and she's also protected now against, with that Potion of Clarity, against their charms. And I'm going to also use this Oil of Speed, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about this. This Oil of Speed lasts for 1 hour, and it's basically like the haste spell, but it's only for one target, obviously for someone who drinks that, whereas the haste spell is an AoE type of spell, but it lasts for longer. It also lasts for 1 hour, which is pretty long, and it doesn't fatigue you, or it doesn't, inflict like however many arrows of fatigue is equivalent to that when it runs out. So it's actually really good, and basically what it does, it doubles your movement speed, and it doesn't actually double your attack rates. It basically increases your attacks either by 1 or by a half to the next round number. So for example, if you have 2 attacks, it will increase it to 3 attacks per round. But if you have 2.5 attacks, it's also going to only increase it up to 3, because it's going to, round up, go up to the next kind of round, like full number. So we're kind of going to be pretty careful with them, because with SCS, of course, they're more intelligent. If there are any other, people not protected against their charms in their vision, they're going to switch targets. And possibly charm some of them. I might risk it a little bit and use at least some projectiles from like max range. And as you can see, they are worth 2,000 experience, so this is also one thing that you can do early on in the game if you feel you can protect yourself well against their arrows. You have that Potion of Clarity obviously from Candlekeep, so you're fine on that front. Anyway, since we were kind of thrust into this kind of type of encounter, let's continue then and clear them out. And I was planning to do that anyway, because I wanted to use this Oil of Speed in this area. Not only on the Serenes, but, pretty much everywhere. If anything else attacks us, I can get the benefit out of that. Here's going to be like a queen of theirs. Yeah, not our place. Dirty land folk. Anyway, she's an objective of a quest if you have a low reputation. If you're in Baldur's Gate City, there's a guy that offers you this quest if you have a low reputation. Alright.
concern, indeed.
to kill her. Oh, and of course, as you can see, they can also go invisible, but it's not a big deal. Oh, these carrion crawlers spawn here, apparently.
You've a task? Why, a simple matter.
Hello? Yes?
You can, of course, use some, you know, fireballs on them and whatnot to soften them up, or to deal with them quicker. There's many things that you can do, but, you know, having, like, one good protected fighter is pretty effective
I am here.
to deal with those sirines and, you know, get all this experience. And here's the cave. Here's the cave of Black Alaric. Oh, don't you go closer to my other guys. Alright, it's going to be over soon.
What is it?
Let's help her out now. Alright,
Your concern.
so that is done. They drop some of those arrows of biting, which is very nice, and they all have a pearl with them. Right, now this cave is very noteworthy because it has a couple of great magical items. It has some traps, it has some flesh golems in there for some more experience. There's a lot to say about this cave. Now, we don't have the ability to detect or remove traps. And there's 4 traps in here. There's one here, and then later on there's like one over there and one over there. And they are all different. And we have a lot of potions of absorption. We have 3 of them. They give us 100% electrical resistance and a 10 armor bonus versus crushing attacks, which is actually really good against these flesh golems because I think they deal crushing damage. And it would make sense to, you know, think that they deal crushing damage, but I'm always trying to be pretty careful about that because a lot of monsters in the game, you know, sometimes they deal a type of damage that's not really what you would think it is. It's not very intuitive. For example, trolls also like punch you with their hands, but they do piercing damage. And trolls, we'll meet a lot of trolls in Baldur's Gate 2. Anyway, I'm just debating whether I should use this potion of absorption or not, because we have basically there's a lightning trap here. This trap here spawns like a glyph of warding, I think, and Jaheira already has 70% electricity, so she can just tank that trap, I think. But that potion of absorption is pretty ideal to use here because, you know, you also get that armor class boost. Oh, and she saved versus spell and nothing happened, so even better. These flash golems here are pretty tough, they are pretty dangerous, they can deal a lot of damage, and they require magical weapons to be hit. So we're going to just go with Senashira and Jaheira, I think. Well, 15 damage to Jaheira. This weapon ineffective is of course from her offhand. We are going to get a magical offhand for her soon. Alright, so that's the first thing. This trap over here we can trigger because she's protected with the shield spell, and this is a magic missile trap here. Where is it? Alright, there it is. So she absorbed the magic missiles, I guess.
The group, indeed.
You know, you can use your dagger here and
It is done.
add to our damage.
Your
Alright, I guess they're not coming. And here these traps we can trigger with Senashira because she has the potion of clarity, and these are like charm traps.
I am your indeed.
At least this one is a dire charm trap, I think, and this one
Yes?
I don't think I remember precisely.
I've done had enough of this.
I am
Okay, whoa. Less of that. Less of that, please. And yeah, of course the flesh golems, 2000 experience each is pretty nice. Oh, here's that guy. Alright. So, we are... I don't want to say that we are out of the danger zone. I don't want to overuse that. Danger zone! Anyway, here's the treasure of Black Alaric, and there's plenty of good stuff here. So there's a lot of potions and another one of these mithril rings. An antidote. This is like a potion of infravision for selling, another potion of absorption, and an elixir of health. Alright, sweet. Now, this is the Tome of Constitution. So this is a very notable cave here. Then the Cloak of the Wolf, Wand of Paralyzation, which is extremely good, and 10 darts of wounding.
Your concern?
So great, great, great loot. Excellent stuff. That Wand of Paralyzation especially is just a very powerful item, although it seems like in SCS a lot of people have great save versus wand, and it doesn't work nearly as much as you would think it would. You know, let's just teleport our guys here.
Yes?
Not to waste any more time. Right now, let's just free up some inventory space. We are going to have to do a big identification session after we get back from the coast. I'm going to visit High Hedge. I'm going to do, you know, some identifying. I'm going to do some purchasing, I think. I'm going to purchase some goodies from the Lantern. There's a lot to do once we're finished with this last coastal area. Anyway, here is another interesting character. Although interesting enough, she's actually evil aligned. There's a way to end up fighting her, and I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, she wants to consult us, to give us a consultation about our future, I guess. With her gypsy magic, she can read the palm of our hand, I guess. So let's continue with that. Alright, though you live the hard life now, your hand tells of a softer existence not long ago. I assume that you have just recently taken to the road? Yeah. Go on. Alright, a scholarly influence, and you are well educated. You had a mentor who was a great sage, perhaps a considerable power as well. Yeah. And here she's going to freak out. You had a reasonably happy childhood with him, aside from being a little difficult. My, but you were quite the little hellion. Wonder where that comes from. Let's see what we can learn about you back before this Gorion. Further back I see... Merciful gods! I see a long and happy life for you and yours. 10 gold please, and I'll be on my way. So she obviously freaks out about something. She saw something that she didn't want to. And if... well, you can be like, alright, I see you're freaked out. Here's your 10 gold. You're free to go. But if you push her for an answer... I saw nothing. You will live long and enjoy life, and I will be going now. Back from me. You must tell me, please, dear lady. She's like, I have told all I am going to. Stay back from me. Your life is none of my affair. So you can be like, you know, as you would have it. But just to show you this fight, and especially since she is actually lawful evil aligned, I don't care about killing her. Although from this conversation you would never be able to figure out that she's evil or supposed to be evil. And I think it's you know, better to just leave her alone, seeing how visibly shaken she is. But for the sake of, you know, the completionist playthrough, let's... Oh no, and I clicked the wrong thing. Oh no, I think I clicked the good thing. Oh yeah, okay. For a moment there I was worried that I did the wrong thing. Right, so she has obviously... okay, she has shield, mirror image, and haste. So let's just focus our ranged attacks on her. We can try to command.
I am here.
Alright, that worked. So now all of our... for one round, all of our attacks are going to be auto hits, because she's, you know, disabled on the ground there. So that's pretty much over for her. And we get 600 experience. Oh yeah, and it's an effect of haste. You can see that she has 3 attacks now.
It is done. Yes? Certainly.
Alright.
I am here.
And now there's one more kind of a questy thing to do. There's the Lighthouse, of course. That this map is, I guess, famous for. And it has a symbol after the lighthouse, of course. And there's a certain quest to do there. And Jahira leveled up in fighter, I guess. So let's just quickly level her up. Yeah, level 5 in the fighter now.
Yes, certainly.
And now we are all immune to sleep. Our whole party is level 5 now. So mages are just not going to cast sleep anymore.
It is
They are
done.
just going to know that we are level 5 and never attempt it again.
Hey, friend.
So here's a mother of a boy that apparently is stranded in that lighthouse because a pack of wargs surrounded it. And so she wants us to deal with that situation. And of course NPC Project adds some comments from our party members.
I am here.
And indeed there's a lighthouse right over here. And there are some wolves
Certainly.
that we're going to deal with.
For the group.
So they are, you know,
Yes, it is done.
they were waiting at the bottom of that lighthouse, I guess, where that boy is supposed to be stranded. So we kill them.
It is done.
You can actually click on some of these buildings. I don't think I've shown that off very much, but there are some abandoned buildings sometimes in the world. There are some clickable things that you can kind of inspect and get a little description
Yes, indeed.
about them. So,
I am
you know,
here.
apparently the boy is still up there. He's too afraid to come down just
Sir,
yet.
indeed.
But if we
Hey,
talk
friend.
to her again, you know, she's going to thank us. That was a noble deed. So we get +1 reputation, 60 gold. Her offhand warhammer broke, apparently. And we're really running out of inventory space. And that's it, I think, unless I'm forgetting something, but I think this is all that this map has to offer. I think there's a spawn point of some creatures here. We might just kill quickly.
Certainly.
Maybe not, but I just like my my maps uncovered, as you might know. Alright, anyway, let's get back to Baragost now. We will need to rest up. We're going to need to... Oh, it's a shame she's so close to level 5. I could do like a big...
I am here indeed.
Well, I can still do the big identification session. Let's go to Baragost. We've still not been ambushed by that Amazon group. I thought that would happen now. But anyway, we have some time left. We can do some management.
It is
Alright,
done.
so now
I care not.
let's memorize all of these identifies with her. And also what I'm going to do is give her... I did that wrong. Let's first go to High Hedge, I think.
It is done.
Although, actually I didn't... Well... Yeah, let's go to High Hedge. I'm so indecisive sometimes.
It is done.
Basically what I want here is I want to buy some scrolls from Thalanter, but I also want to first identify some stuff so we can actually have the money to buy some other goodies from Thalanter here. But anyway, I want to do a scribing session on MON, and the thing is that, of course, when she has her intelligence buffed up, she's going to have a much higher lore value, so she's going to be able to identify a lot of stuff just with her lore. And of course I didn't switch my cloaks. Now his goods are going to be a little cheaper. So yeah, we need these mirror images. I'm going to buy all 3 scrolls because it's good to cast it from a scroll as well. This spook is very cheap. Might buy that. Oh, invisibility. That's a good one. She's going to get access to some level 3 spells soon. Once she hits level 5. So we might actually get... well... Do you have any level 3 spells memorized? Lightning and Dispel Magic only.
Certainly.
Alright, let's then buy all those. Buy invisibility and spook. And we can actually buy those right into our container. I might actually buy 1 ray of enfeeblement too. Let's get Skull Trap and Flame Arrow, I guess. And now minor spell deflection. It could be useful against some of the mage fights. I'm going to get that. Alright. So now we can have Imoen drop all this stuff on the ground so she has more space. For some spell scrolls. Also, we're going to have these 2 potions of genius that she's going to drink. Alright. And now we can memorize some more spells with her. Okay, she's gonna have Glitter Dust, Dire Charm, Ghost Armor. Okay, sweet, man. We're going to have access to some really nice spells very soon. Of course, I'm going to automatically, like, very quickly do this, because all of this is going to succeed. All of this scribing. Have mirror images now. Very good. Nice, very nice. Okay, and now since she has 52 lore, she should be able to identify quite a lot of stuff. Not this wand of magic missiles apparently. This is the short sword +2 that we got from the Basilisk area, from those hobgoblins. Yeah, darts of stunning, darts of wounding, if you want to read about them. Actually, I can get that back. You're going to make some purchases. Now let's just do like a big identification session with her. Still not enough for Ashadina. This is an adventurer's robe. This is the 3rd type of that kind of robe, where it gives, this one gives an armor class bonus versus crushing attacks and save versus petrification polymorph. So it's not that great. Another bracers of defense +8. And so we have 2 pairs of those. I want to group, of course, the magic items that we're going to sell on like the same character, so that we can sell them in bulk before they, you know, depreciate in value. So here's the Tome of Constitution that we got from that pirate treasure trove, and this is something that Serenes is going to use, because like I said in my introductory video, she's going to dual class into a thief in Baldur's Gate 2, and Kensai thieves can be a little squishy, so at least you know, I am going to allow her to have a little bit of a bigger health pool, so that at least the hit points can be her defense.
Yes?
So her constitution went up to 16, and now she has 60 hit points instead of 55, because these bonus hit points are granted retroactively as well when it comes to constitution. She actually has a lot of stuff. So there's a bastard sword +1. That halberd, man, still unable to identify that, huh? It's just a chainmail +1. That's that 2-handed sword +1 that we got from Argane. This is the cursed sword of berserking that we still can't identify. Another long sword +1. Quite a few of them. I think this boomerang dagger might be too hard to identify. Yeah, those are more unique items. Those are just some +1 weapons: Morningstar, Flail, and another longsword. Oh yeah, so this is that really good helm from Droth. 20% to the elemental resistances and +1 to saving throws, which is really nice. She can actually identify her own bracers of AC 7. This is a medium shield +1 that we got from Bjornin for killing these half ogres. This is the save versus spell amulet that we got from Krill. We can't identify that still. This is the third type of belt, that this one gives us a bonus to slashing attacks. So Branwen can keep that for now. This is a ring of protection +1. This is another Morning Star +1 that Branwen has. Look at all this nice stuff now that we are able to identify all that. Can you identify these pantaloons? It will give you a little bit more information about them, so feel free to pause, but you know, it's kind of funny identifying a pair of pantaloons. Let's check our time. We still have a little bit of time. Not enough for Varskona. Alright, we can surely identify some of these arrows and stuff. Alright, arrows of fire +2. Really nice arrows, but they allow a save versus spell for no fire damage. Whereas, for example, acid arrows don't allow a save. So they always deal their acid damage, so they're a little bit better. These are arrows +2 and arrows +1. So all of that is going to go to Kivin. And other bracers of AC 7. Now these scrolls I don't really care about to like try and identify that. I would like to identify this Ring of Holiness, but I would have to unequip it from Jaheira, and well, it will have to happen sooner or later. So it's Ring of Holiness, Ring of Sune, and as you can see, you can memorize an extra divine spell for each level from 1 to 4th. And you know what? I think Branwen might actually get that, because I would usually have it on a cleric, because clerics have a better selection of spells by far, but I think we're good as it is. And I have to do the spells again. It's mostly about this second level spell. Maybe let's have one of those. We're going to rest anyway, so this doesn't matter that she lost some of their memorized spells. Alright, some other stuff. Yeah, bolts of biting and these paralytic bolts. Those are the paralyzing bolts that the Sahuagin used against us. Those are arrows of biting from the Serenes. As you can see, save versus death or be poisoned, essentially. Some more arrows +1. That's really nice that we have a really nice supply of arrows +1 now. And this is just a ring of infravision for selling. This is a short sword +1. This, like Cloak of the Wolf, is not really that great. You can like polymorph a mage, I guess, into a wolf when they're out of spells or something. But it's not going to be... It doesn't have like any tricky use or anything like that. In Baldur's Gate 2, for example, you get a Cloak of the Sewers, which I think is a much better execution of a similar idea. A cloak that allows you to polymorph the user into a couple of different forms. But the forms you get in Baldur's Gate 2, you know, have different, like, unique, useful things about them. But this one I just will sell. And this is a Wand of Paralyzation, very powerful wand that can stun the target. And as you can see, the save versus wand that they have to make is at a -4 penalty, but in SCS they just seem to save against it all the time, it seems. But also another interesting thing about it is that this is considered to be a level 4 spell, so it still goes through Minor Globe of Invulnerability that only protects you from level 1, 2, and 3 of spells, and this is considered a level 4, so we can still stun a mage protected by Minor Globe. Alright, and I think this is more or less it. And I'm going to do, I think, additional selling and like management in the next episode, since we're already over time a little bit. So I thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.